Hey everybody, today I'm going to teach you how to make these patterned fabrics like this, or like this one. It's actually really easy, so let's get started. I like to start with a 512 by 512 background, and I like mine colored in black. And what you're going to do is add a layer, and we're going to change to a white foreground, and we're going to get out our brush tool. And for this exercise, you really need to have some brush tips available to you. I like to start with a round brush tip, and I'm just going to make one flower in the middle of this. And then I get out my rectangle selector tool, and I'm just going to pull out the corner like this. Actually, that's not quite right. Sometimes this takes a little practice to lining this up the right way. So there we go. And then what you're going to do is right click and hit select inverse, and then just delete the rest of the pattern and hit Control D to deselect. So we have this little corner of this flower right now. And then what I'm going to do is add another layer, and I'm going to pick another pattern to go behind it or with it. And I like to pick, usually something swirly on the edges, so like this. And I just drop this in and then resize it to make it fit and work. So sometimes this takes a few minutes, but be patient. Okay. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my eraser tool and I'm just going to clean up these edges a little bit through here, so it looks nice and clean. Okay, and then I'm going to merge these two layers. And then I'm going to duplicate this layer and go to Edit and then Transform and then to Flip Horizontal. And I'm going to line this up with the other one, just like that. And then I'm going to merge these two layers and duplicate them. And then I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, Flip Vertical, and pull this down so they match up. Just like that. And there, you can see we've got a new pattern. So I'm going to merge them together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the background layer any color you want. So just keep in mind what your final project may be. I'm going to do this one purple. And then I get out my crop tool. And I'm just going to crop exactly on the edges of this. Just like that. There we go. And then I change my image size and make this small. I usually go with 100 pixels at whatever the biggest area is. Sometimes they're not exactly square. Now if you wanted a square texture, you can do that. You could go to image size, and click off proportions and do 100 by 100, and then it evens it out so it's square. Okay, and I'm going to merge these two layers, and the first thing I'm going to do is edit, define pattern, and create a pattern with this. And then I'm going to open a new project. It doesn't matter what size, we just need a decent size to work on. And I'm going to go back to my project and drag it into my new one, just like that. And then I'm going to duplicate this and drag it over to the side like this, and then bring it up so the bottom is halfway like that. Duplicate that again and pull it down. And then what I'm going to do is get my cropping tool out one more time. And I'm going to crop midway through this first section and midway through the second section. And you might need to adjust this a little bit. This isn't quite in the middle. I need to scoot this up just a hair, like that. And just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to define this pattern. And that's pretty much the basics of this. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to close these two because I don't need them anymore. And I'm going to go to New and create a new project. And then I'm going to bucket fill with our pattern. So I'll show you both. This is the first pattern we created. And then if you wanted to make this so it's seamless or repeatable, you would just crop out these very edges right here like this. And now it's seamless. And I'll create, okay, and then I'm going to add a new layer to this, and I'll fill in with the other one so you can see what the other pattern makes. It creates this wave type pattern, and again, you just crop it appropriately so the pattern is repeatable or seamless, however you want to do that. And then if you want to make it a texture pattern, you could go back and watch my 2 fabric tutorials, the folded fabric and the satin fabric, and just drag your gradients. You just create a new layer and drag your gradients across the top layer. I'll do this very, very quickly for the sake of time. Just like this. And then we're going to overlay like this. And you can see we kind of have a fabric pattern coming through this. You can back down your opacity a little bit to make it fade and look more like the pattern is wrinkled with it. And that's pretty much it. That's the basics of it. You can add other patterns to this. You can add a texture on top of it, whatever you want to do with it. It's very scalable and very easy to do. I hope you found it helpful, and as always, if you need additional assistance, feel free to email me or contact me.